Have you ever really considered what makes a community hit that sweet spot? Where you get the great atmosphere, the top amenities, and a really strong housing market. It's tough to find. But what if you could get a quick kind of insider's look at a place like that?
Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We are diving deep into Hoover, Alabama, specifically the real estate market there in early July 2025. We've got a whole stack of sources, market updates, detailed MLS data. That's the multiple listing service agents use. Really comprehensive stuff, trying to give you a clear picture of the trends and, what makes Hoover so desirable. Yeah, our goal here is basically to pull out the most important bits from all this material, give you a shortcut, really,
Sure.
to understanding Hoover's market.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's some surprising details in there. I mean, the sheer range of property prices alone is pretty striking. And you see these subtle shifts happening, even though it's still a competitive scene.
Right. So whether you're maybe thinking about buying there or selling, or maybe you're just curious about what makes a dynamic community tick, this deep dive should really shed some light on Hoover's appeal and what the housing market looks like right now. Okay, let's get into it. So looking at the Hoover real estate data, the first thing that really jumps out is just how strong it is, right? Across all our sources, it's described as like a beacon of opportunity, sustained demand, lots of different property options. It's clearly a robust seller's market.
Absolutely. And you can see that strength in the numbers just for the first couple of weeks of July 2025. We saw pretty consistent sales activity. 27 homes sold in just that period. The median sale price for those around $420,000, which you compare it back to June's median list price of $476,000, which itself was up, 5.8% from May. It tells you buyers are definitely still active. They're willing to pay.
And you mentioned the price range earlier. That really stood out to me, too. From $133,000 for a condo all the way up to $1.5 million for a luxury place. How does that huge range really shape the market's appeal? And what kinds of homes are actually driving these sales?
That massive spectrum is, I think, key to Hoover's draw for different kinds of people. Single-family homes, yeah, they definitely dominate. 22 sales in those 2 weeks, ranging from maybe just under $300 up to that $1.5 million mark. But it's not just big houses. We saw 2 townhome sales, too, $255K and $385K. Good for lower maintenance, right? And then 2 condos sold at $133K one and another around $360K. So entry points, convenience, it creates this layered market. It's not just strong, it's inclusive. Offers something for lots of different budgets and lifestyles.
Right, so a pretty broad market. Now, we don't have the exact days on market for early July just yet, but the June data gives us a clue. Average listing age was 26 days, which is up a bit, like 7.6% from May. So homes are still moving fast, definitely. But maybe, just maybe, buyers have a tiny bit more breathing room than before. And we're seeing sales in those really popular neighborhoods too, right? The Preserve, South Point, Greystone, Rossbridge. Really shows that desirability is pretty consistent across the board.
Exactly. And that leads into some of the, let's say, subtle shifts in the trends. Look, it still absolutely favors sellers. Price appreciation is steady. That 5.8% jump from May to June is healthy. You see premium properties like in Greystone or the Preserve getting top dollar. But mid-range homes, maybe in places like South Point or Bluff Park, they're also moving quickly. Big appeal for families, professionals. So yeah, robust market, but one that's also, adapting a little.
Okay, that activity across different price points makes this next observation interesting. While it is definitely still a seller's market, there's this slight hint of movement towards more balance. Is that fair to say? Nationally, inventory's up like 16% year-over-year, and Hoover seems to be reflecting that. In June, there were 613 homes listed for sale. That's up almost 6% from May. So more supply means buyers, while they still need to be competitive, are maybe finding a few more options, which sounds like a positive thing, offering a bit more leverage for them, but still keeping things good for sellers.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. And of course, the elephant in the room is always mortgage rates, right? You've got 30-year fixed rates kind of hovering around 6.7%, maybe 6.8%. Affordability is definitely a factor buyers are thinking about, no question. But Hoover's strong local economy, the desirability, people are still drawn there and willing to invest. What's interesting is that even with those rates, the market's staying dynamic. So it creates opportunities, maybe for both sides. Sellers get the demand, buyers now have slightly more choice. Makes you wonder if we're seeing maybe more determined buyers or perhaps more cash offers coming in because of those rates.
That's a really good question. And, beyond the market numbers, Hoover's appeal is so much more than just real estate. This is where the community aspect really comes in. It's known for fantastic schools, right? Consistently ranked among Alabama's best. We're talking places like Spain, Park High, Hoover High. Getting awards for academics. For families, that's not just a nice to have, it's often a core reason for choosing Hoover.
Oh, absolutely. Foundational. And it's not only academics either. The city has amazing outdoor recreation. Think about Moss Rock Preserve, the trails there,
Hmm.
or Aldridge Gardens, which is just beautiful. So many places to hike, bike, just get outside. That adds a huge amount to the quality of life, draws people who really value that balance.
Hmm. And then there's the convenience factor, too. Hoover is like a real hub. The River Chase Galleria is huge, obviously, one of the biggest shopping centers in the Southeast.
Hmm.
Tons of retail, restaurants, plus you've got Patton Creek nearby, the Grove, lots of other options for shopping and services. It really highlights how these communities are kind of planned to offer a complete lifestyle, doesn't it?
It really does. And all that infrastructure, it supports a genuinely vibrant community spirit. Hoover's calendar seems packed. All sorts of events bringing people together. Things like the Hoover Hayride, the farmers market they have, the library summer reading finale, concerts in the park too. These aren't just, random events. They feel like signs of a community that really works on fostering connection.
Yeah, it feels like Hoover has this nice mix, Southern hospitality, but with a modern feel. The diversity of the population seems to contribute to that rich mix of traditions. You can find classic Southern food, like at the Boot, at the Preserve, but also places like Firebird's Wood-Fired Grill, more contemporary dining. And it's not just food, right?
Right.
The Hoover Theater has community shows, Aldrich Gardens has art exhibits, lots of ways for people to engage with arts and culture.
Right. So the key question then, how does all that, the culture, the community vibe, feed back into real estate? Well, it becomes a major selling point. It's this blend of tradition and progress that makes it welcoming. Hoover's focus on green spaces, parks, trails that encourages an active lifestyle. The festivals celebrate local stuff. These are the things that make people want to actually put down roots,
Hmm.
settle in and thrive. And that ultimately drives demand for housing.
Okay, so bringing it all together, what's the outlook for Hoover's real estate as we look through the rest of July 2025? For sellers, it seems pretty straightforward. Still a great time to sell. High demand, appreciating prices. With that median price at 420K and luxury going up to $1.5 million, smart pricing and good marketing are going to be crucial to get top dollar, obviously.
Yep. And for buyers,
Yeah.
that slight increase in inventory we talked about is good news. More options appearing. You're seeing everything from those more affordable condos up to big family homes. Yes, mortgage rates are still a factor. They're elevated. But that strong local economy and the community appeal, it still makes Hoover a really compelling place to invest your money and your life, right? It's competitive, definitely. But if you have good guidance, buyers can absolutely find great opportunities across Hoover's different neighborhoods.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, it's really clear Hoover, Alabama stands out. It's a premier spot. The early July 2025 data just confirms it's this dynamic, family-friendly city, strong real estate market, vibrant community, rich culture, all blended together. Still very much a seller's market, yes, but maybe with that little bit of extra inventory, giving buyers slightly more choice now.
hmm And it really underscores how vital it is to get the nuances of a local market. It's not just about what's happening nationally. It's that specific balance between demand and supply right there on the ground. Plus, you have to layer in the bigger economic things like those mortgage rates we mentioned. But Hoover's unique appeal, those top schools, the cultural scene, all the community events that contribute so much to why its market is so robust and attractive.
It really does. Digging into these details helps you see all the different layers that make a place like Hoover really work, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And, it leads us to the final thought, maybe for you listening. Given how things like community events, local culture, even specific types of homes can shape a real estate market, what often overlooked local amenities or trends might be quietly influencing property values in your own area right now?